Hello, hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here, and we are up to episode number 12 of our playthrough on Suzerain. This is the douchebag playthrough. Anton down here has done a number with his staff, and I'm kind of wondering how long it is going to be before they start bolting. We've kind of disregarded just about everything that they have wanted us to do. If I had to guess, I'd say Nia is going to be the first one to go. Lileas will probably stick with us. Awesome. But we're going to continue here and move on to the next turn. Chapter 2, A New Sordland. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This is quite a different playthrough than my last one. Already really enjoying it. Kind of fun to be a dick. Got a lot to attend to. We got a lot of news to read. Our major the Workers' Rights Act. That's the one I was thinking about actually supporting. Just to kind of stay in step with my party a bit. Benfi Regional Airport overcrowded. We have been receiving reports about the capacity of Benfi Regional Airport. The mayor of Benfi is preparing to put a request forward for an investment to build an international airport in the city. For a touristic region like Benfi, he claims that it would increase the overall prosperity of Sordland. Probably not wrong. Central Bank issues budget deficit warning. Central Bank of Sordland issued a warning regarding the extensive government budget deficit that has occurred in the first year of the administration. We're at -1 right now, so it's not exactly extensive. I mean, it's a little more than what I'd want, but it is what it is, and it's probably going to get worse. So the potential consequences of irresponsible economic management were highlighted. Edith Agnock relayed that a large deficit could have dire consequences on the strength of the currency and hamper the potential of this bill to recover economy. Okay. Suzerain, Vice Minister of the Interior, has reported the discovery of a large-scale underground network of the BFF that encompasses all cities in Bergia. Under the guise of state-sanctioned priesthood, the BFF, that's the Blutish Freedom Front, so they're the bad guys, has recruited hundreds and possible thousands of nerdy worshippers. A dozen arrests were made, but since most police officers don't speak Blutish, it will be difficult to find an actual ringleader. All right. So we're continuing to crack down on the Bloods. Narble. Education in rural regions require improvement. Hira Walder reports that the current education institutions in rural regions of Sordland have been largely neglected, and they will continue to be largely neglected. As part of her analysis, the literacy rate in Sordland's currently stands at 80%, while rural regions like Narble has a literacy rate of only 64%. It must be from Narble, the way I feel sometime. Military equipment outdated. General Staff has performed an analysis on our border assets oh my lord, see what I mean? On our border to assess our military defense capabilities against a potential Rumberg attack. The results show that our military equipment is outdated and needs replacement as soon as possible. Continuation of the worrying report shows that in the event of an attack, our border would be broken through easily, leaving the primary regions of Sordland exposed. That's not good. Agnolia offshore drilling near Helgi Island increases tension. Agnolia has started a new oil drilling operation very close to the disputed territory of Helgi Island. Tensions increased when the situation turned into a standoff between Volkslandian and Agnolian warships. Okay. Let's see what the papers have to say. Lockhaven women's rights strike. Hundreds of state employees in critical infrastructure positions like transportation, health, and education organized a strike to highlight the issue of gender inequality. The Sordland League of Women called for all women to join strike in Lock Haven to trigger real change in the country. Spokesman of the NGO released a press statement highlighting the issues of domestic violence, the wage gap, maternity leave, and the sexist attitudes in the education system. The strike is a clear sign of unhappiness among the women voter bloc. It also raises questions if the First Lady, Monica Rayne, will use the increasing voices to trigger real change. Vogslandian Navy forces Agnolian drill ship to retreat from Helgeland. We just read about that. Ship entered. Experts are concerned about Agnolia's increasing forays around Helgeland. They believe may trigger a heavy response from Vogsland. Arcasia fires the M4 ICBM rocket. Sweet. White Walker has announced the first successful Arcasian intercontinental ballistic missile test. It was conducted at a military test site at the Nuam Atoll in the middle of Oceania. Fired missile codenamed Missile 4 flew several thousand of kilometers towards the direction of the United Kantana before crashing down at sea to the abandoned radioactive Rostov Island. Missile tests indicate that Arcasia wants to send a message to the United Kantana about island bases in the middle of the Oceania, while displaying that the Arcasian military technology has advanced. Right. Workers' Rights Bill. Sign or veto the Workers' Rights Act that was approved by the Grand National Assembly. That will give us another -1 on the government budget, but it was strongly supported by my party, or at least parts of my party. So, Section 1 establishes a minimum wage of 2.5 Sordish Ren per hour. Section 2 sets a weekly maximum of 60 hours of labor. Section 3 establishes a double overtime pay for hours after 40. Double overtime, huh? Maybe I should go to work in Sordland. Would that be $5 an hour or 5 Sordish Ren an hour? We're going to sign this. Here we go. Anton Rayne is a friend of the people, even though he is a complete asshole. Workers' rights reformed. New law on workers' rights. Workers' Rights Act has been signed into law by President Rayne after the approval of Grand National Assembly by majority vote on Monday following a 6-hour debate. Monsoon Leckie, we're probably going to end up putting in prison, is very happy. New law establishes all the stuff that we just read about. Rayne signs Workers' Rights Bill into law. Recently implemented Workers' Rights Bill caused the initial protest against the government to mellow down after the Morble mine disaster. He did it all in the name of security. Everything's about security. And if I didn't realize it at the time. Chants of anger have turned into solidarity marches. Here we go. Making people happy. One budget deficit click at a time. One of the spokespersons for the Needham Mining Group has accused President Rayne of acting impulsively with the bill, saying that it puts too much weight on the business. And they're getting sued into the ground. Radical. Workers' Rights Bill signed. In a surprising move, President Rayne has decided to do something right for his citizens by signing the Workers' Rights Act into law. This looks as a publicity move after the terrible Morble mine disaster. The new law establishes a minimum wage and sets a ceiling for maximum amount of hours on top of new regulations for companies. Mr. Rayne move to give more rights to workers has been welcomed by many. On the other hand, this may simply be a diversion from the actual real issues of government. It may be radical, it may be. What's next? Oh boy. Regional investment decision. Budget allocation of law enforcement. And an evening walk with Monica. That'd be fun. Well, let's just take them in order. Us Major and Simon Hall have prepared an extensive regional investment package to revitalize one of top 3 economically fragile regions by boosting the municipality budgets, providing large sums of business grants, and giving cheap loans to companies with liquidity problems. The proposal can be implemented in one of the following regions: Bergia, Lauren, or Agning-Land. Or not. I don't want to go too far into the hole. So we're going to have to spend money in the military and, as you can see from our next meeting, law enforcement. Oh. Sorry, guys. Not this time. Budget allocation to law enforcement. I was in my office reading reports from the ministries about the current situation of the protests. The next scheduled meeting was about the law enforcement budget with Nia and Lileas. I heard some knocks at the door. Nia entered and took a seat in front of my desk. Lileas was absent. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Lileas will be late. Apparently there was an urgent matter at the Ministry of Interior she had to attend to. Shouldn't take long. That's a couple minutes less of Lileas. Great. There we go. You wouldn't find many who think otherwise. She laughed. I returned to my reports, and Nia smoothed back an errant strand of hair. An awkward silence. While we wait, why don't we have a little chat? Chat about your emergency decree. Not. I had my reasons. No need to go on defense, but I will say this. You are repeating Sol's mistakes again. This is not what we were elected for. You don't agree with my decisions. Times change. Internal and external threats had to be eliminated. Times do change, but the method's clearly not. So why are you still here? Why don't you quit? Go away. Keep thinking about it, and I come to the same conclusion every time. There's no way I can get behind this. Don't forget that I have a vote in the court. I already gave the decision, and what is left is for you to follow it. Bitch. She opened her mouth to answer, but there was a knock on the door. Lileas Graff entered the room. Mr. President, Nia, I hope that I'm not interrupting your conversation. No, not at all. We were just discussing a few things. Nia smiled at Lileas. I'm sorry for being late. There was an important matter at the ministry. Just a small dispute over who should get the supplies. Nothing major. Lileas took the seat next to Nia as she continued talking. Before we begin, your call to boost the police to react to the protests has helped us tremendously in maintaining public safety. Few incidents seem to have happened due to the inexperience of the recruits coming from the police academy. They were relieved of duty immediately. Well then, let's get straight in. Okay. We'll provide a brief update on the situation of law enforcement. Alright. Yeah. The Ministry of Justice and the Supreme Court is working in close collaboration with the Ministry of Interior to address the protests in the country. Our efforts ramped up quite a bit recently, especially after the declaration of the emergency decree. I must add that thanks to the hard work of our judiciary, the law enforcement assigned to my ministry are doing their jobs efficiently. I would call it the success of our force on the ground, not due to the judicial branch of our government. Lileas shot Nia a brief withering glance. He just looks withering in general, so whatever. As expected, the budget increase has boosted morale of the employees in the law enforcement agency. In these dire times, my people and Nia's people are especially delighted. This came as a pleasant surprise to many in the Ministry of the Interior, since it was not even one of our campaign promises. And for that, all I will say is, bravo! It was an excellent decision. Agreed. At the Ministry of Justice, we are very happy with the decision as well. The backlog of court cases are dwindling, and we have started to fulfill the needs of the current situation. Certainly a step in the right direction. Yes, of course it was the right decision. I made it. Bitch. Of course. Well then, let's move on to what we were actually here for. Due to the budget increase, we can start doing much more as the main branches of security in Sordland. However, a decision has to be made about the budget balance between the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Justice. Exactly. When deciding, you must look at the bigger picture. I believe you will make the right decision and pick the Ministry of the Interior. Why should I pick the Ministry of the Interior? Please tell me. Ministry of the Interior is a much more significant and important government agency that is in need of the funds, especially during these times where there are many protests in the country. Good luck prosecuting criminals or going through local government laws without enough judges. Yes. Alright, what if I decide to balance the budget between both of you? Balancing the budget won't help as much. The current situation clearly demands that a decisive choice to be made to benefit the nation. I agree. If they both agree on this, would have me thinking that might be my choice. Neither one of them want it, so I'll give it hell with them, both of them. Of course, what would make the most sense in the current situation would be to support the much-neglected Ministry of Justice that would improve the legal system in Sordland. Tell me, Nia, who brings the criminals before the justices? Let me answer. The police force connected to the Ministry of the Interior. She's right. But I'll let her give her my spiel. Each day, the stacks of legal cases are piling up for judges. Cases for corruption and criminals are delayed due to lack of funds. I thought you just said they were doing good. Seems to be that it is an organizational issue, but not a funding one. The Interior needs the money more than for the police and local governments. Okay. Before you decide, I would like to remind you of your obligations and promises as leader of this administration, Mr. President. What will it be? They both leaned forward. Funds will go to Ministry. I'm not giving it to either one of you. I'm going to keep it for myself, but that's not an option. So we're going to go with our course that we've kind of charted for ourselves and go with the police and local governments. Wise choice. I was expecting you to be different, Mr. President. Why? You just said it wasn't different. Remember, more of the same? Well, hey, more of the same. Nia got up from her seat. Must return to the ministry to implement necessary changes. Very well, see you soon, Nia. You have a few words with Mr. President. I have a proposal. We have been battling with terror for a long time ago. I want to put an end to it. That's why I am proposing the formation of a secret state police. Ooh, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? This would be a new force that would be in charge of handling internal security and intelligence matters. The primary aim of this program is to detect and prevent subversive elements before they take any harmful action against the state. If you accept, this will give our administration power to handle the threats more discreetly. All right. Way this sound. Go for it. Good decision after good decision, says Lileas Graf. Maybe she won't run against me this time. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I will link to the playlist for my For the People play. Feel free to check that out. Alright. What else we got going on here? Oh, we got to go for an evening walk with Monica after our workday is done. Mass surveillance resulted in 1984 arrests. Oh, okay, all right. 1,984 arrests. I was thinking like George Orwell. Swedish intelligence agency reports that the new surveillance laws have provided the possibility to stop protesters gathering before they even started. Results were extraordinary, and it allowed 1,984 dissidents posing a danger to Sordland to be arrested in the recent days alone. Ankurg. Protesters protesting against police brutality brutalized. Civil protest happening in Lankurg against police brutality has been broken up by the police with relative ease, thanks to the increased police authority laws. Water cannons have been deployed and tear gas guns were supplied to the police force, which resulted in prompt suppression. 16 students detained for organizing a rally. 16 students plotting to organize a rally have been arrested by the police and taken into solitary confinement. Due to the removal of the trial process, the arrests are being made much faster. Oops, sorry about that. Stay on me for a second. Right again, due to the removal of trial process, the arrests are being made much faster, and we have been able to suppress the protests quickly and decisively. Hey. Order. Yeah, secret police. Take that. Happy police personnel and subversives arrested. Anything else? Radical pro-Rayne purge. Uh-oh, what's this? Thousands of state employees were dismissed under the emergency decree for alleged links to terrorism groups. So far under the decree, 12,662 people, including nearly 1,000 police officers, 100 teachers, and academics were sacked. The opposition leader, Mr. Richter, said Sordland was now entering a dangerous period of fascist rule. You got that right, Franz. Marchese and Lesbia have also accused the president of using Bernard Circus' murder as an excuse to crack down on dissent. I disagree with that. They were rioting and beheading people. So, whatever. Economy slowly recovering. Imagine that. The recession has slowed down last month, showing signs of recovery, but make no mistake, Sordland is still in the danger zone. Past several weeks have brought lots of mixed news in Sordland, but good news came particularly from several regions hitting pre-recession output numbers, thousands of people returning to work, and Swedish citizens getting out and spending more. Manufacturers cranked up the assembly lines again, and many businesses welcome back customers. Well, good for them. Makes me happy. Reflect up here, and I will be even happier. Anything else? Right. Evening walk with Monica. See how much I ostracize my wife. It was early evening, still light out, with just a faint nip in the air. Frank was at a friend's, and Deanna was at an art class. Monica and I decided to go out for a walk before dinner. Our favorite place for a stroll was the nearby Capitol Park, the largest green space in all of Holsord. Before the children were born, we had spent many an evening engaged in deep conversation along the riverside promenade. Another favored path wound through the woods behind the presidential housing complex to a private pond where the children could swim in the summer. I was told that Sol himself had built it, the benefits of being president. Monica met me by the door, and we put on our coats and hats. I was going to suggest we walk towards Sol Square, but the guards told me it's been closed because of the Emergency Act. There are so many police officers in the city now, it's starting to remind me of the 20s. Yeah, but I'm in charge now, so calm down. For how long it'll go on. However long I say it's going to go on. They're protecting us against our enemies as long as it has to. Sounds good. I understand. In any case, where shall we go? Not sure Capitol Park is a wise idea in this climate either. Nonsense. We have our guards. There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's go to Capitol Park. Say so. Let's go then before the children get home. I informed the guards about our route and we left the house. Guards followed us with a black Cadilla as we exited the gates. Walking briskly, we reached Capitol Park in minutes. As we entered the park, Monica broke the silence. How was your day? Fine. Imagine some might find that stimulating. Oh, how was your day? Oh, it was fine. I caught up on some reading while the children were at school. As we reached the river, we saw Ionis Krona, the former Minister of Justice, walking in the opposite direction. Remember that Nia Morgana used to be his vice minister. He gave us a quick nod of acknowledgement. Ionis had once fought hard and strong against Seoul's judiciary reforms. After years of the government blocking his every move, he gave up on the ideas and became part of the administration. What did our ideals really mean if they could be changed so easily? What about the people we idolize? Evelyn also came around for tea. He says hi. I think Evelyn is Peter Vectern's wife. We've seen surprisingly little of Peter Vectern. He just I think he's only shown up like twice. He was feeling rather low. Apparently she and Peter had a bit of a disagreement. What's she nagging him about this time? Apparently Peter had too much whiskey, as usual, and didn't behave when Evelyn's father was over for dinner yesterday. You know, Peter, what do you think of this? Be honest, I don't care. There we go. Don't care. Maybe you should. He's your vice president, after all, and we're our closest friends. Oh, my lord. Being married to a shrew like her would make anyone turn to the bottle. Okay. I think he gave me a sharp look and we kept walking. You know, Evelyn hasn't been the same since what happened to her at the Holsword Post last year. Which was what? You remember? I don't. How she got fired for supporting Alfonso. Peter tried everything to get her job back. Why? She was supporting the guy we were running against. Maybe he didn't try hard enough. I don't think anyone would have worked. It's a sad day for freedom of the press in Sordland. But enough about the Vecterns. I also spoke to Janice on the phone. Who? You remember my friend from the university. We were in the Sordish literature class together. A few years younger than me, red hair, scar on her forehead. We had dinner with her and her husband once or twice. Neither the name nor the description rang a bell. Right, that Janet. Anyway, she's been working as an executive assistant at the Violet Pictures film studio. She recently became pregnant and asked her boss for paid maternity leave. And guess what? Know where this is going. She was fired for it. Can't the husband provide for both of them while she raises the children? Look at it from a cost standpoint. Obviously, they don't want to lose money. After asking for maternity leave, that's terrible. Or so what? Number one, probably be less abrasive. Also a little sexist, so can't rule that possibility out. This is the I don't care. Go this route. But why should she have to lose her job? Something is wrong with this, Anton, and that's not all. They immediately replaced her with a younger, less experienced man. Son of an executive, no less. So she called the First Lady to ask for help. Called a friend. She knows this is something I'm passionate about. As it happens, another friend works for a television station that's hiring secretaries, so I connected the two of them. Terrific. Problem solved. Still don't understand, do you? Women in this country are still seen as wives and mothers first, and I just made that clear. That's what I see too. Human beings is second. They're harassed at work, underpaid, blocked from positions of power. Those are the lucky ones. The fact that there are still places in the country where little girls like Deanna are denied the right to an education. I'm sure the parents have their reasons. That doesn't even make sense. Go on with your tirade. These little girls and people like Janice need someone to speak on their behalf, a role model, a successful woman. We were right in front of one of the park benches that line the river. Monica gestured to it, and we sat down. Which brings me to my point. I know that the mayor of Enrica, Curtin Lesty, will be delivering a speech at the annual opening of the Benfi Festival. My wish is to take his place and deliver the speech instead. Curtin Lesty is a Sordland politician and member of the United Sordland Party, USP. Us. Hoorah. Lesty was one of Sordland's most influential politicians. He had started his career in Benfi before rising to power in Enrica. Benfi's current mayor had personally invited him to make the opening speech. Replacing him with Monica would likely anger him. Not enough to cause a major incident, but enough that he might not support me in the assembly. Which I don't want. So, I want to base the speech on women's rights in Sordland, on the oppression and discrimination we face every day, on the basis of our sex alone. I want our voices heard, and this festival is the time to do it. I just need your blessing as my husband and the president of Sordland. Monica's eyes were blazing with a fire I hadn't seen since we were students. She wanted this badly, but I had to be careful with my promises. Does it have to be at the festival? Why can't you make your speech another time? It has to be now. Thousands go to this festival, and millions watch the speeches at home. Sordland's women can't wait any longer. I wasn't expecting to have to make a tough choice on such a non-issue like this here. Now, obviously, this is the douchiest thing he could say. He really wants it. But this also, I mean, I could try and let her have the speech. I don't want to piss that guy off, though. I need his support, so sorry. I don't understand. After all I've done to support you, you can't support me on this? I don't want you to step into politics. That's fine. It's not the right time. Sordland is facing too much political strife. I'll have to deal with women's rights later. Women belong at home, not in politics. I can't make Curtin Lesty angry. That's why I did it. Well, I'm going to be honest with her. What little trouble this causes in the short term is nothing compared to the lasting positive change it will bring. Not just for women, but for all of Sordland. I don't think so. Monica was silent for a minute. When she finally spoke, there was a chill to her voice. That's truly how you feel, so be it. We walked back home, neither of us looking at each other. No Nookie for Anton tonight. Sorry, Anton. Well, okay, it's in character. Feel kind of odd about doing that, but just my own personal feelings there. I probably could have gotten away with just downplaying the speech and letting her do it up or make her hat. Call it. What do we got going on next here? Changes to the tax system. Okay. All right. Anyway, all this will have to wait for the next episode. I'm going to stop it right there. Anton and Monica return to the house, where Anton sleeps on the couch and Monica stews in bed by herself. Anyway, if you liked the episode, hit the like button. If you have any tips or advice or general thoughts about the game, leave those in the comment section below. If you want to follow along, hit the subscribe, and we will see you for our next episode. A new day for the sexless Anton Rayne. Here we go. I said it. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a very good day.